Hi, I'm Imdad Hussain. I'm in the historic market town of Aylesbury, in the offices of Oakdean Hollins. We're about an hour away from London and 30 minutes away from Oxford. I'm with David Fitzsimons, one of the executive directors of Oakdean Hollins, the sustainability research firm. How are you doing, David?
Lovely,
Nice
good to see you, Imdad. Nice to see you, and with your media crew this morning.
Thanks very
Good to
much.
see you.
Now, I was here 6 months ago.
Yes.
It was very busy.
Yep.
Now, what's been happening since?
Well, a couple of things, Imdad, since we last met, both of which we put on the news section of our website, but which I can describe in more detail and certainly update you with the latest information. First is about our work on rare earths, and the second concerns some very good work we've done with ASDA, our client, who've won an innovation award recently on the back of that work.
Oh, congratulations, well done. Now, I'll come on to ASDA later in the interview.
Okay, yeah.
But I want to focus on rare earths.
Okay.
Now, I was listening to the BBC radio programme, Costing the Earth.
Oh, yes.
And they referred directly to your report, I believe.
That's right.
Can you just go into a bit more detail?
Yeah, they were keen to interview the team. It was led by my colleague Nick Morley, who's led all this work over the last year, 18 months on rare earths. And his team has consisted of Adrian Chapman, Huday Kara, Ben Walsh, a really cracking group of consultants working on this area.
Guys, yeah.
Yeah, so we're delighted about all of that. They were particularly keen to try to pull out the implications of our work for the Department of Transport, who commissioned us.
Now, I do remember listening to that programme, and I think one of the things they focused on, and I've read the report, and I think it's incorrect, was they sort of promoted this idea that there's a crisis in the bottlenecks. Can you sort of comment on that for me?
Yeah, certainly. I think the team were very keen to get across that there isn't a crisis in the supply of rare earths, in as much as they're distributed around the Earth's crust. The crisis is really about a bottleneck in the supply of rare earths as the demand has increased significantly because of new green technologies. And the supplies over time has become concentrated in China, where lowest cost producers have been able to take a large share of the market.
Okay, well that's interesting. But just to give a bit more of a background, where are these rare earths distributed?
Well, they're distributed reasonably evenly around the Earth's crust. So we're seeing new mines. As prices have increased, new mines have opened in other parts, or are in the process of opening or reopening in America, Australia, South Africa, Canada, elsewhere.
Now, I went on your website,
Yes.
and I see this piece of news about the team, or definitely Nick, going to an MIT conference.
Yeah, that's true. So a number of things have happened since that initial piece of work. A very great deal of interest in the issue. The EU, for example, the JRCs asked a very interesting set of questions about other materials that might also fall into the same bottleneck issue, which we've been delighted to work on. And then Nick's been invited to join an expert group from the EU to meet with the equivalent expert group from the USA at MIT, and I think that's probably what you've read about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're delighted. In fact, that's happened.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, you produced a report. Governments have read it. Industry have read it. Has anybody actually taken any economic decisions on it, or related research?
No, is it just an academic piece of work of passing interest for discussion? Well, look, the people we really admire, and I know it's unfashionable to say this, but Goldman Sachs we admire. Why? Because while we were doing our first bit of work, a parallel study was being done internally at Goldman Sachs. They came to very similar conclusions to us, but what they did was they decided to invest directly in closed mines outside of China. Spot on, absolutely spot on. That was the decision to take. They did it on a big scale, and they've since been proven to be dead right because prices have soared.
Another successful investment.
Indeed.
Now, I want to get back to ASDA and your innovation award. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
But I think we need some more detail.
Okay, happy to do that. Last couple of years or so, my colleague Peter Lee has been leading a project with ASDA in 5 stores around the UK looking at an innovative new way of dispensing fabric conditioner, a self-dispensing machine in store in 5 places around the UK.
Oh, so I can go to Asda now and with my empty fabric conditioner bottle and fill it up?
Ah, well, that's the aim in the end.
Okay.
This was a project funded by WRAP, W-R-A-P, who put in a considerable amount of funding to investigate the viability of this new method of selling fabric conditioner. Now, what's the big advantage to this system? Well, at the moment, is a single trip containers. People use the fabric conditioner and then discard the container, either for recycling or for disposal. And this new system allows the customer to use a pouch, fill first time with fabric conditioner, and then to reuse the pouch up to 10 times. So we had to investigate a series of technical issues and customer-related issues about whether that could be viable.
How did you get on with those issues? Because obviously there are technical issues because you're taking a material and taking it to the store.
Yes.
And then you've obviously got the customer.
Yeah, indeed. And I think the technical issues we discovered, which will be covered in a report which we will publish and disseminate in due course so that others can build on this in the future, is that technically we had some shearing issues in cold weather. The product pumped from back of store to the machine, tended to shear. But we also discovered quite a lot about the interaction with the consumer. How comfortable was it?
Well, you've got 2 sets of consumers, right?
That's true.
You've got someone like myself who recycles, does all those things and really likes to use new technology.
Yes.
Then you've got others who don't.
Yeah, who resist the technology.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you deal with that?
Well, I think firstly we should acknowledge the ASDA team. We were very impressed with the knowledge they have about their customers and their product groups and how people buy and why they buy some products and not others. And the way that we've looked at that is to say, really, how do you, first and foremost, how do you overcome the resistance to interacting with a machine rather than just picking something off the shelf? And some people find that very positive, and I think you'd be one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But others don't. And there are ways in which you can deal with that resistance. That's what we've been talking about. And the report will say something about that.
Now, you're a sustainability research firm.
We are, yes.
Now it's quite obvious. You can use this method for other things. Have you investigated those things?
Well, I can tell you very recently, we're delighted. ASDA are planning to take the idea further themselves. And we're delighted about that. There's some rather sensitive discussions going on at the moment, which I can't talk about. But I can tell you about the intention with other retailers to take the same idea forward.
Any examples for us?
Yes, there are. Well, firstly, I think it's about the paint and wood care sector. That's where we're expecting the next development.
Okay.
We're expecting quite a lot in the paints and wood care sector. And the first thing to say is that paints and wood care as a product category is seeing a lot of change itself at the moment. So Johnson Paints have just been awarded Eco-Label for some of their paint range. And we've been delighted to work with them because Oakdean Hollins happens to be the contractor that runs the Eco-Label programme for the UK government, along with our partners TUV NEL.
Okay, great. And any other news on that innovation award? How it's going to move forward? Or
yeah, I think for the future the exciting area is going to be whatever ASDA choose to do. We're looking forward to working with them on that, and I can't say very much at the moment. But I think particularly with the paints and wood care product, I think that's where we'll see the exciting area in the next year or so. But I can't say too much about that at the moment.
No, that's
sorry.
great.
And
thanks very much for that, Dave.
A pleasure.
Now, here in Oakdean Hollins, you're pretty busy, right? Now,
Indeed.
there must be other things going on. Can you explain and elaborate?
Well, there are a couple of things, I think, as we look forward that I'm expecting to be adding to the excitement in the next few months. The first of those is that we'll be working with Marks and Spencer's, expanding our work with M&S on their Plan A. They've got a really cracking management team at M&S, and so it's a pleasure for our people to work with theirs.
No, but you've worked with them
we have,
before, haven't
we
you?
have, yeah, we have. We really enjoy working with M&S, I should say. Sort of the right sort of quality of company we find, their standards and systems we feel very comfortable with. So that's M&S. And I think the second area of work that we're looking forward to is some work that we're just completing at the moment that was commissioned by UK government departments, DEFRA, BIS and DEC. And that's about the valuation of innovation.
Wow, that's a toughie.
Yeah, it's been very tough. But we've had a young economist, Peter Willis, a really top quality guy, working with specialist in-house Ben Walsh on nanotechnology, and also with Peter Swan, academic from Nottingham University. And we've created a new methodology, and we're just finishing that off at the moment. Our expectation is that we'll be disseminating that in the next few months. Might even involve a presentation to the OECD in Paris. We hope that will be the case, but in any case, very exciting. We're very proud of that particular piece of work and the quality, the rigour that's in it, the quality of the work that we've done.
Well, that's great. Look, David, thanks very much for inviting us into your offices, and it's great to see you again.
You too, Imdad. Nice to see you.
Thanks.